Yeah, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Rob, host of From My Experience podcast. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Short and sweet, man. Yeah. I got some things to think about. And something I want y'all to think about, you know what I'm saying? And it's important. It's very, very important. We're going to talk about being yourself versus trying to fit in, or being accepted, and life politics. We all gotta play the politics game, you know what I'm saying? If you wanna get ahead. So we're gonna talk about some of those things today, man. Sheesh. And I'm gonna pose a question to y'all too. We're gonna get into some things. I owe y'all an apology. I did not look for any positive news. I'm sorry. But I'm going to bring y'all some positive news with this episode. Because good gosh.
I'll be damned.
One story I am going to follow because I think it is interesting and I think it's going to bring about quite a few conversations on social media. I'm gonna tap on this fairly quickly, jump in, jump out, like double dutch. So there's a woman. Oh, I guess I need to do this now. I don't know her name. I don't know the full story. But there's a woman on social media who says that a dude slapped her in the face with a brick because she did not want to give him her number. She got hit in the face with a brick. And she said a bunch of black men were standing around and nobody did anything. And people were in uproar and outrage about it. And without any context, I do think that's messed up. Like, you know, if I see anyone getting attacked, I want to break that up. You know, I ain't trying to die and get stabbed or shot or killed either. So I am going to assess the situation. But I will say this too, and this is not victim blaming or blaming anyone. If you can avoid a situation like that by running or escaping the situation, that is always your best option because you do not know what the other person is capable of. You don't know if they gonna hit you, slap you with something, stab you, shoot you. So, I mean, there was no video of it. We only saw the aftermath of her getting hit with the brick, right? So now people are going online posting her TikTok, and she had a TikTok where she was going up to white men and saying something and then slapping them. And then she said something about rappers and how you talk about how women dress a certain way and rap about certain lyrics, they gonna get touched. Well, if y'all talk about tricking about your money, y'all money gonna get touched, and I'm starting tonight. So people are kind of showing her behavior online, and I think that they were trying to allude to that she got what she deserved. I don't agree with that. But I'm going to wait for more of this to develop to see if more comes out about it. And I do want to have some homegirls on to talk about their experiences. We just had Erica on last week talking about how her ex-boyfriend was controlling and possessive, and she was literally fearful for her safety. And there's been a lot of things happening to black women, and it's making them feel unsafe. But the flip side of that is people saying, well, if you are bringing this upon yourself, if you're out here doing things to cause people to want to harm you, I'm not stepping up and helping you. I'm not going to protect you if you just out here wilding and you just want me to protect you, but you want to go out here and do what you want to do. I can see that. I can see why that'd be a problem, because asking someone to protect you or expecting someone to protect you means that they're stepping into harm's way and getting you out of harm's way, whether they know you or not. That's not a small ask. It's not. People have gotten shot, people have gotten killed, people have gotten stabbed over stuff like this. So it's definitely a serious thing. But I don't know what to make of it, man. I think it's jacked up that she got hit in the face with a brick. The damage to her head was severe. It was really bad. I don't think anybody deserves that kind of treatment unless you're trying to kill somebody. Like simply rejecting someone and saying I don't want your number and they hit you with a brick is wild. And I don't know if anything happened beyond that. We don't know. We don't have the video. We don't know exactly what happened. That's just what she said. But I know that's floating around right now, and I just wanted to make sure I talked about it at least in the headlines. But we're going to investigate that, and we're going to have a conversation about it, safety, with some lady friends of mine on a future episode. That's the only headline I got for y'all right now. Woo-wee, man. Yo, I do need to apologize. I'm sorry. I did say I would do better with the positive vibe. I am going to do better. Not positive vibe. I am going to do better with the headlines and trying to find a better mixture of things, because negative news is easy to find. I can just open my phone and find it, whether I'm looking for it or not. But I'm going to do better. Erica will be back next week. So next week's episode, Erica will be on there. We've locked in a good schedule, so I'm going to get her back in. So y'all will have a woman's perspective on some of these topics, and a younger woman at that. So y'all can kind of we can try to fill that generational gap and that gender gap. And we're going to continue to have guests on the show. I want to continue to give y'all, fresh looks at things and more variety. But we still promoting positivity over here, man. So one of the things that was on my mind, which I said today's topics were, oh Lord have mercy. Sorry, that's my Instagram. Why? Okay. It's been a day. Being yourself versus being accepted. Life politics, basically. Yo, so everyone is not going to accept you for who you are. We all have quirks and things about ourselves that sometimes we hide, right? We hide these things, or we don't shine a light on them because we want to be accepted, or we playing a politics game. Prime example. When I was a teacher, I was not friends on social media with any of my coworkers for my first 4 years. I was at the same school, working with these same people 180 days out the year. We laughed together. We cried together. We ate food together. We talked about our families. We talked about our lives. All these things. It took me 4 years before I accepted a single friend request. Why? Because I was playing life politics at the time and being myself versus being accepted. I really had to get a feel for the climate in the arena that I was in, because one, I'm new to the professional world. I'm fresh out of college. I'm a young black male. Most of my coworkers were white women with families. That's just, it is what it is. When I started, my vice principal was a male. One of the custodians was a male. The music teacher, was it one or two? I think there was 2 music teachers. Both of those were men. One of the music teachers was black. So we were the only 2, me, him, and the custodian were the only 3 black men in the entire school. You're talking about staff close to, I think, 50 or 60 staff members. If I might be a little off there. Maybe 40. I don't know. Somewhere around there. So you got I really had 2 people that I could really talk to that could relate to my experience in that building. And I had not grown up around white women of that age. I mean, I had white people in my classes and stuff like that at school, but I went to a HBCU. So my college experience was mostly black people. So not that I fear white people or had my stereotypes in my head, but I was just being cautious because I know how black people are portrayed, especially black men. And I'm around women, so I need to watch my behavior, my mannerisms, and I need to see who these people are. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to protect myself and watch out for myself and my credibility, because a microscope was on me, or a telescope, I should say, was on me, because I'm an anomaly. I don't happen. Most of the times when you see a black male teacher, he's probably one of very few in that entire school. Very few. So that's what I was doing, man. I wasn't worried about being accepted at that time. It was just the politics game. I was like, all right, before I let these people in, they're going to see things. Now, I wasn't wilding on social media, but, you're going to see my family. You're going to see my girlfriend. You're going to see some of the things I do on the weekends. You're going to see some cultural differences. And I don't necessarily want my personal life all throughout my work life or my business life. Those are two very separate things. I mean, obviously that's changed now with the whole public podcast. But back then, it was what it was. And I wonder if y'all have ever been in that situation where you've had to navigate that. You've had to keep your work life separate from your personal life. That's what I was doing, man. And I did it for a long time. And those worlds merged eventually. And it was cool. It was funny to see, because the other thing you have to realize is when you open that door, the politics game really changes. Now, I'm thinking twice before I post things. I was already thinking twice because I was a teacher, right? But I was thinking twice before I was posting things. And now I'm seeing a different side of my coworkers. I'm starting to see what y'all are really into outside of work. I'm starting to see some of your opinions on some hot topics and stuff like that. So you really kind of get a different feel and a different vibe for people. And it definitely had an impact on relationships at work. I don't think anything was truly messy or drama-filled or nobody knockout, drag-out fighting. But definitely some side eyes went out and some, I need to watch out for this person type deal. I just really had to be a bit more cautious about what I said and who I hung around. Because I'm like, you like this? Okay, cool. Good to know. And vice versa. I'm pretty sure some people saw or heard some things on my page and were like, didn't know that about him. Need to watch that. Fair game when you open that door. But, I also made sure that I wasn't doing anything to have a negative impact on where I was trying to go, as far as climbing that career ladder. So here's where being yourself versus being accepted and more of those life politics comes into play. When you're in the workplace, I'm going to stay on the workplace and I'm going to switch to the personal life. There's a lot that goes into that. Pardon me. I'm not going to drink a lot on this episode, I promise. There's a lot that goes into that. When you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, your work will speak for you for sure, but your name and your face needs to be known by the people who are making these decisions. People want to know more about the person that they're working with. And people are going to try to encourage you to do things and participate in things. And that's where that line becomes a little bit blurry for you. Now, when I say being yourself, Rob, as you know him, I'm a podcaster. I'm a gamer. I'm an introvert. I be in my room playing Xbox. I'm on the phone with a couple of friends. Shout out to Carl Van. Shout out to Jessica Fountain, my LB Brandon Palmore, Nika, Corwin, Nick, what's up, girl? And maybe 1.5 more people I can't even think of right now. And people that I message all my funny stuff to on Instagram: Avery, Eric, Mr. King, Craig. Yeah, Micah, what's up, man? Yeah, that's really my life. Like, if there's a really good movie, I might go see Equalizer 3. I actually need to go see that, and a new Mission Impossible. But that's typically if I go out, I'm going to see a movie. Introverted thing, right? Don't have to interact with people. Or I take my mom out to eat or something like that. Or I go out to eat myself. I'm low key, you know what I'm saying? I believe in the Second Amendment. So I go to the gun range every now and again, get some shots off, get my practice on, get my aim on and stuff like that. God forbid I'm in a self-defense situation. I want to be able to make sure that I can do what I need to do accurately, effectively. But prayerfully, I never have to do that. So that's something that I'm into. And I like hanging out with my frat brothers, catch y'all at homecoming. I do need to do some more exploring and getting out the house to catch up with y'all more often. Yo, shout out to the noobs. But that's really the gist of it for me, But, and I hang out with my family. But that's not for everyone to know all those things, right? And that's not everyone's business. And again, I say this as I say this on a public podcast, right? Not even this podcast. I don't even tell everyone about this podcast because I've said a lot of things. I mean, we had almost 300 episodes. I can't think of too much I haven't said on here. But people pass judgment. You can say one thing that someone doesn't like, and they'll just hold on to that. You can say a million other good things, a million other right things. You might not even believe in that thing you said all those years ago, right? But someone will hold that against you, and that could be to your detriment when you're trying to move up, right? So typically when it comes to my work-life balance and that politic game, I like to keep that my personal life to myself, and I'll share whatever it is I want to share and whatever I want you to know. If I want you in my life like that, I'll accept a friend request. I'll hit you up after work and stuff like that. Most of the time I won't, but I'm jovial at work. I'm nice. I'm sociable at work, but I like to leave that at work sometimes because some people don't know how to draw that line. Some people might tell that joke that y'all had outside of work at the wrong time, and now your business is in the street. Or someone is reposting your Facebook post and telling everyone about it at work. Or someone's like, hey man, Robert has a beautiful girlfriend. About whoa, 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 whoa. I don't even want these people to know I'm in a relationship. What are you doing? So that game is very interesting. And so the being accepted part, I'm not worried about that. So let's talk about the social aspect. I just said all these things about Rob. I'm an introvert. So naturally, people being drawn to me and me being accepted in groups or crowd, I couldn't give a shit less because I spend 90% of my time by myself anyway. And the people I socialize with are in my headset in different parts of the country and different parts of the world. And we get along just fine. And I'm so happy with that. But also, I've built my relationships. You know what I'm saying? At my age now, I have a great group of friends, like really tight personal friends in relationships. But I also have people who are, they're friends. I don't like the word acquaintances. Well, I mean, they really are acquaintances. That's not a bad word, but like, there's still other people I'll talk to and I wouldn't mind hanging out with from time to time. So if I want to jump into a bunch of social circles and get out there and interact with a bunch of people, I can do that because I am cool with people from all different walks of life. I mean, to upper, higher business levels, you know what I'm saying? Like, just had my boy on, Howard John. That dude is always traveling somewhere, doing something, but I can pick up my phone and call him, and I'm like, yo, where you at next? All right, I'm coming out there, yo. Show me a good time out there, yo. What's good? I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of my peoples are in Charlotte, North Carolina. Could do the same thing there. Plenty of my peoples in Greenville, South Carolina. Plenty of my people still in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Still in DC, still in Georgia. So if I want to hop in those circles, I could. But I'm being myself. And the beautiful thing about being yourself is that is the ultimate comfort zone. When you are trying to be something that you're not to fit in, it's very tough. I've done that in my younger years, maybe high school, some of college. But then you just come into a space where you just don't care about other people's opinions that much. At least I have a long time ago. Because when you look around at the end of the day, who's taking care of you? Who's really actually there for you? Typically, it's the people who know you the best and they accept you for who you are. Like, I love when I'm talking to my friends and they're like, you playing Xbox, ain't it? Call me back. Like, that type of stuff. If you're the type that's like, oh, that's for kids. That's childish. Why are you playing games? I don't know why that's just for kids. Clearly, you might not be for me, or maybe we not that close because you understand that this is just a part of Rob and what he does to relax and decompress. And for those of you who do think like that, they make a variety of games that appeal to all ages. All ages. So being myself has been a blessing. And the bigger blessing is being able to be myself and finding a lot of people who just accept me for who I am, where I am. I don't have to fake the funk. I don't have to try to act cool. I don't have to smoke around you. I don't have to drink around you. I don't have to try to holler at everything that's trying to move. I don't have to try to talk about all of my female conquests. I don't have to do all of those things to fit in and look cool to hang around these people for fear of being ostracized. I don't have to do that because my people know who I am already. If I did that, they would look at me like I'm crazy. And let me tell you, those of you who do fake the funk to be accepted, they know. People know the real you. People can spot authenticity a mile away. They will smile and laugh in your face and be laughing at you and you think they're laughing with you. You don't have to try to impress. You don't have to try to say that shocking thing. You don't have to try to be super outspoken. You don't have to try to be super cool, reserved, and laid back. Be you, and you will attract your people. You will attract your circle. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to do, in my opinion. But that's a slippery slope, man. It is a very slippery slope to try to be accepted. And I do understand everyone is not going to be for you. And that's the part that I think people fear. And I guess that's the blessing in being an introvert. I never feared, oh, shoot, they're not going to accept me. I'm not one of the cool people, quote unquote. Or, I want to hang out with this group. My thing is this. I come through, I'm Rob. If Rob ain't who you like, if Rob ain't who you trying to be around, if you feel like Rob don't fit in this crew, then be gone. Cool, fine. No beef, no drama. I don't fit. I don't belong. Great. I'll find my people. It's all good. Because if I have to be somewhere where I'm faking and I can't be myself, I can't imagine anything more uncomfortable. And how many of y'all are out there doing that right now? How many of you are not being your true, authentic self? How many of you are afraid to talk about what it is that you like to do, what it is that you're interested in? I love anime. Love anime. Some people think it's just cartoons. I love anime. I love the story. I love the artistry of it all. I love just the creativity that goes into it. I love listening to the Japanese language and reading the subtitles. Like, it just gives it so much feel and so much emotion. I love so many things about it, man, because real TV is cool, but it gets stale. It gets boring. So my imagination gets to run wild when I'm watching anime. But there are some people who are probably in relationships or probably got friends and your friends don't even know. You ever seen like a movie or a TV show and someone finally goes to that friend's house and like, oh, I didn't know this about you. Oh, I didn't know that about you. Why do you think that is? If you've ever had to say that about one of your friends, if it's a big, big thing that you think you should have known as a friend, you should ask yourself why you haven't, why you don't know that. Like, I've had people, oh, I didn't know you had a podcast. I'm like, well, good God, you follow me on social media. Like, I only got 300 episodes almost. I talk about it and post about it all the time. You know what I'm saying? All the time. I post my podcast more than I post anything else in my life. But I'm also not running around broadcasting it to everybody that I know either. It's just a part of who I am at this point. It's like breathing, having a podcast. But if you ever had that moment with a friend, explore that. Yo, why didn't I know about this? And ask the question, did I make you feel uncomfortable expressing this to me? Or did I make you feel uncomfortable with sharing that you do this thing? Some of us are ashamed. There was probably a time where I didn't tell people I watched anime and stuff like that. And that's probably when I was really trying to get with women. But then as you get older, you realize women be into the same stuff that we into. We try to hide these things to make ourselves look a certain way. We call that the representative, right? And we politicking, life politics. We playing the politics game. I got to look a certain way. I got to present a certain way. Then I can ease them into the other parts of me. Man, that part of me is dead. Yo, this is me. This is what I do. This is what I'm into. If you don't like it, that is fine. If you're going to be judgmental about it, that is fine. Be gone. This is a part of who I am. I'm not going to, if who I am is not a detriment to myself or the people around me, and I'm not hurting anybody, what's the problem? Your opinion doesn't matter over here. This is what I like to do. This is what I get enjoyment out of. This is how I rock. I want to be with someone that can accept me for who I am, not someone who looks at who I am and says, oh, you need to change this, and this, and then you'll be good enough to be with me. Nah. But people do it. People do it and they're miserable. We see it in movies. We see it on TV. We see it in real life. People literally suppress themselves to appease someone else. Can you imagine that? Yo, like, really think about that. You are taking your life, which you control, which you make all the decisions in, right? And you are lessening and taking away from yourself to appease another person. For why? I can't think, maybe in the world of business because you're trying to get this loan or you're trying to get this investment off. But why you would want to suppress self for the sake of somebody else. What is that person giving you, or what are you getting out of this that is so great that you need to suppress who you are as a person to appease them, to get whatever it is you're trying to get from them? Love, affection, sex, money, favors, the hookup on whatever. Is it really worth that? Really ask yourself, because I guarantee you there's a place you can go and be your authentic self and get the same thing. Y'all marinate on that, man. Let me holler at my brothers. Brothers, what's going on, my brothers? Yo, be authentic. Holla at the homies, man. I challenge you, brothers. Find out something new about your homeboys. Ask your homeboys more questions. Deepen your relationship with your homeboys. That's my challenge to y'all. I'm issuing that to the black brothers. What don't you know? And I'm issuing this to myself because I know I got homeboys and I don't know how many siblings you got. I don't know where your siblings live. I don't know what they doing. And honestly, I don't know what you into personally. I got a bunch of homeboys like that. Shoot, Carl Van, that's my boy. I love Carl. I know Carl plays PlayStation. I know he has a beautiful family. I know where they live. And I know he's a business guru. Shout out to Pastor P's app. Download Pastor P's app, the only recipe app where you can create collaborative cookbook and upload video steps to your recipes and create collaborative cookbooks and share them with your family and friends. Download Pastor P's app. Do it now. But we've had a lot of conversation. Actually, I probably know Carl Van better than a lot of my homeboys now I think about it. We've definitely had some exchange stories about a lot of things. I take that back. But there's a couple other homeboys and homegirls I just don't know that much about. But we're really tight though. We really cool though. But I don't even know your mama name. Like, but it be like that because that's funny because that happens with really authentic relationships sometimes. You're so into one another and that friendship is so nurturing and it's so mutually beneficial. You focus on that instead of the stuff that surrounds it. So that's what I want to challenge you to do, my brothers. That homeboy, that homegirl you got, get to know them better. Ask some in-depth questions and have some great conversations with them, man. And guess what, y'all? That's all I got for y'all, man. Short and sweet, man. Being yourself versus being accepted. Life politics. Life politics, man. We all be out here politicking. We all be trying to get along and go through and do all these things so we can get to that next step and do what we got to do. But, man, stop suppressing yourself. Stop suppressing yourself. Now, I ain't saying go to work and wild out and scream at everybody and call everybody an asshole and do all this stuff. No. Don't get fired. What I'm saying is let more of that personality show. Be more of your authentic self in all places, right? Maintaining professionalism, but in all places. And if people don't accept it, guess what? You just found someone who is wearing a mask around you. Make them take the mask off, man, and keep it moving. Stop suppressing yourself. Stop hanging around or talking to that person that you know get on your last nerve, but you'd rather not be alone, so you hang out with them anyway. For why? Why are you doing that to yourself? It makes zero sense to me. But if that's what you got to do, that's on you, man. Until next time, take care of yourselves physically, mentally, and financially. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.